recording.
Or not. I appreciate that. Thank you. And here we go. All right. So for those of you who not know me, my name is Jonathan Bannister. I'm one of the managing partners, Cornerstone Marketing Solutions. And we've been putting on these webinars over the last couple of weeks. I've been bringing in people from within the industry that could bring value to all of our customer base and just contractors in general. We're going through strange times, crazy times, and anything that we can do to help you guys is what we're looking to do. So today, I'm extremely excited to introduce and have with us today Sam Wakefield down in the foothills of Austin, Texas. And his company is Close It Now. And what Sam has been able to do is truly master a craft that just so happened to fall right into the crazy times that we're living in now. So Sam has been doing a virtual sales training over the last 5 years, and now more than ever, he's using it and it's just paying dividends. So with that, I would like to introduce Sam Wakefield, and I'd like to thank you for being here with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm super stoked about this webinar today. It's something that, you know, like I said, I've been working on for a long time without even realizing it. And we'll get into my story here in a minute about how this was developed. But honestly, over the last probably 5 years, I've sold, you know, gosh, probably 20% of my sales every year, 15% to 20% has been done virtually or remotely. And I didn't even think anything of it. It's just something that we've been doing from just necessity. You know, if it started out with, maybe it's a landlord-tenant situation and the owner of the property is remote or in another state, something like that, or lots of examples, but just forced us to develop a system that just happens to work. And now in the, you know, current climate of today, it's just like, holy cow, this is perfect timing for this. Time to share with lots of other people to help them. You know, there's no reason that you can't dominate your market right now. If you're offering something no one else is doing and you're taking the steps and doing your due diligence that others aren't, oh my gosh, it's not even close to when we don't get those conversations anymore. Well, your price is too high, or, well, I've got to get 5 other bids. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you for doing this. Which one do I get?
Right.
And that's how the conversation goes now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just so, look, full disclosure here, I'll let everybody know that I have, you know, been watching webinars. I've been trying to get as much value as we possibly can to be able to deliver to our customer base. And we've been trying to put that out in emails, and anything that we see that I felt like could be valuable, we're passing it on. So I saw Sam doing a webinar a couple weeks ago, and I was so intrigued. I mean, you were just like so cool, calm, and collected. I mean, it looked like, you know, you were basically just did a couple of sales calls, and then you jumped on this webinar with all these contractors. And I hurry up and I knew the guy's podcast that I was on. You know, I was like, it's probably not, you know, the best practice for me to do, but I was like, my customers, they have to hear this, because I feel like during these times right now, if the equipment stops working, people are going to have you in their home, especially when the heat gets here, to repair it. And I just know that these, you know, our financial companies right now have these special offers out here for 0% interest and no payments for 6 months. So I know when it comes, you know, push comes to pull, that people are going to be willing to replace their system and hold on to their cash if there's an option. But, you know, oh, my system's not working, it's 100 degrees in my house, I'm going to let the repair guy come in my home. But they may not want you to sit in their home and walk around and get in their attic for 2 hours if it's not 100% necessary. So when I saw like your webinar that you were doing, I looked you up on Facebook, and I immediately sent you a message, and I said, I got to get this guy on, and we've got to have this conversation. So, you know, that's
absolutely.
Yeah. And Sam and I have been talking now over the last couple of weeks, and we feel like we can do some amazing things together. far after this whole COVID crisis is over with to bring a lot of value to our contractors. So we're excited and looking forward to it.
Cool. Well, awesome. Well, I think we should just get started. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So I have, gentlemen and ladies, huge shout out to the women in the industry. I have always been a huge fan of women in the heating and air industry because, especially on the service and sales side, because you just crush it and dominate. So my hat's off to you. While I'm sharing my screen here, I've always, in all the teams I've led or managed or the companies I've owned, have been a huge fan of women. I've always strived to have a woman on my sales team. So, okay, so let's get started. This is my company. If you don't know me, my company is Close It Now. I do HVAC sales training. You can go to closeitnow.net. My podcast, like I mentioned, is I think we've hit 25 countries now. So tons of free information. I basically just open up everything I know and just share it with you guys. So here we go. Title of today: How to increase sales without leaving the house, missing details in the project, or catching COVID-19. So that is where we're going today. The purpose of this masterclass: you will learn the ingredients necessary to make virtual HVAC sales, protect yourself and your clients from COVID-19, eliminate hours of wasted drive time, and boost your bottom line by working less and selling more, which is what it's all about. My philosophy is not about working your face off 5 appointments a day, 6 days a week, and never seeing your family. My philosophy is, if you can increase your close rate, increase your average ticket, become more efficient, you can earn more, be more valuable to the company without having to sacrifice the time that you spend with your family or just your free time. So, because who wants all the money if you don't have the time to spend it? So, okay, stay till the end for Q&A. We have a gift for you. And before we dive into tactics, here is a little history. What qualifies me to deliver this information? I started my career, there we go, as a picture, as an installer way back in 2006 in a teeny tiny Texas town up in the Amarillo area, up in the Panhandle. I needed a job and they were hiring. Little did I know. So the start of a lifelong journey into a world of attics, crawl spaces, and heat. I started my journey up the ladder with installation helper, and I instantly, like a lot of us, instantly became foreman a few months later when literally everybody on the crew quit the same day. So, hey, turns out I'm the boss now. So I decided for things to get better, I had to get better. A super quick little pop out on the reason for the blue suit. I was in a crawl space and I actually caught scabies one summer, and that was one of the most worst, the awfulest, I can't even describe how bad that experience was. So I was paranoid and I wore that blue suit for a couple months after that. Anytime. It was hilarious. So raise your hands if you've ever had an experience like that. I know it's probably something you will never forget if you have. Fast forward 3 years and oh wait. This is cool. Everybody's raising their hands. It's blocking out. Fast forward 3 years, I finally hit the $1 million mark in sales. Not too shabby in a town of 13,000 people. So that's not a whole lot of population to hit those kind of numbers. I then decided to become a business owner and open the home performance side of the company with my partner. Yeah, things were looking up. There we go. We went on to win massive amount of awards, including Dealer of the Year award from our distributor, 10 years in a row. I was able to meet one of my role models, and if you don't know who this is Michael Gerber, author of The E-Myth Revisited. If you've never read that book, I highly recommend it. It will change the way that you build your business. And I committed to 100% learning, growing, and achieving. But things were still not perfect. Here's why. My available hours of the day were completely maxed out. How many of you have had some maxed out hours in what we do? My sales were amazing. However, the population where I live was sparse. This required driving up to 250 miles for a single sales call, which I totally did all the time. It was incredible. Our area covered 36 counties. It was crazy. So incredibly time consuming, often eating up to 10 to 12 hours a day. Yeah, and it truly is when I realized road time is one of the biggest inefficiencies for in-home sales. Give me a shout out if you know that is true. Windshield time. I call it drive time university. Ended up getting so frustrated that we decided to develop a system for making HVAC sales without spinning my wheels, literally, for miles and hours on end. So, like I said, after about 5 years of studying and testing all the aspects, what it takes to sell without actually going in person, we created Virtual HVAC Sales Mastery. So here we go. What we will cover today. Number one, how to market and advertise your no contact appointment, because people got to know that this is what you're offering now. Number two, how to frame the virtual consultation as an added service. Number three, how to increase your sales numbers and income by working less and selling more. Number four, how to save big by becoming more efficient. Number five, how to never lose another project because you just couldn't get there in time. And number six, what tools and programs do we actually need to go virtual? So that is what we're covering today. Unit one, here we go. Now, I really wanted to cover this and dive into it for a minute, because I know if you're like me, we're in the contracting world. I also know that probably some of you have the thought that this whole COVID-19, the coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, is a joke. What I really want to stress to you is it doesn't matter what you think. The importance of distancing is not about you. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Theodore Roosevelt. It's our client's perception. That's all that matters. And this is, this is sales 101. It doesn't matter what we think. When we go into that house, we have to be completely neutral. We are, as a service company, we're there to serve. We're Switzerland, basically. We have no dogs in any fights, which means the client's perception is their reality. And that's the important thing. If this is important to most people that you're servicing, it has to become important to you. So that I really wanted to cover that. As I've heard a lot of chatter about, well, it's just a hoax to do this and that, but it doesn't matter. The important part is we recognize that it is important to our clients, therefore it has to become important to us. All right. Unit two, how to frame the virtual consultation. Now this is important. The conversation has to be appropriate. If you handle the conversation like, okay, all this is going on, we don't want to infect you, so we're going to stay home. Can we do this over the phone, or can we do this over video? That is not the best conversation to set up this appointment. The conversation that your CSR, your phone people or service technician, while they're setting the appointment with the client, is important to set up a great virtual appointment. So what I did, I put it together, just a super quick little script. We'll hang out on this slide for a minute if you want to write this down or take a screenshot. But yeah, somebody calls in, or say the tech calls in and it's talking to the homeowner, it's a turnover, or they're just your appointment setter setting the appointment. Here's a great way to handle that. And there's a lot of psychology that goes into this. So, okay, in order to limit exposure for our clients, we're now offering a virtual consultation, meaning we can do everything through video call. Our consultant can walk you right through the simple process. Would you like to schedule this way? Simple as that. It's asking the question, asking if they would like to schedule that way. Once and not everybody will, just know that. This is a tool in your toolbox. It's not an all or nothing type of a thing. It's not instantly going to shift to every single person wants a virtual appointment. You're still going to have plenty of people who say, no, I'm fine, I don't care, come on out. Well, great, because we all know it's better to be in person. However, the ones that are concerned will say, yeah, no, that would be awesome. I really appreciate that. I've had I had a day the other day, I had 3 in a row that specifically requested virtual appointments before we had even started promoting it. So that was really a huge light bulb a few weeks ago when that happened. So that is a great kind of basic script to help you out, help your call center out, help your service techs. Just offer it. Would you like to schedule this way? Okay. Take a sip here because I get excited about this. If you haven't been able to tell, I completely geek out on this process, and so I nerd out in it. So I'm really passionate about just communicating this. Okay, your sales system. This is crazy important. When you're doing a virtual sale, you cannot shortcut the process. There is a tendency of people, because we have this new tool, that will hop on a call like this and say, okay, tell me this, show me a picture, boom, boom, boom. All right, I'll email you a bid. Well, that's the same thing as what the people who achieve the industry average, which is what, a 30% close rate and a $5,500 average sell, which we all know is probably less than most of you. If you're on this webinar, that means you're above that anyway. But bid droppers, just, okay, here's a number, call me if you want to do it. We cannot shortcut the process on a virtual appointment. Now, here's the thing. If you don't already have a very set system, an agenda of, okay, we have to do this in this order, we've got to have set these credibility pieces, we've got to have, here's the data gathering part of the visit, here's this part of the visit, and know your order. If you take it virtual, it will completely fall apart. If you're the person that, or your sales team is the ones that just kind of get out there and wing it, that won't work on a virtual sales team, on virtual process, because you have to let people know what's going on. You cannot shortcut the process. Never, ever, ever, ever give pricing without first building the value. And this is just basic sales 101, but it's more important in a virtual setting. So it all starts with the introduction, setting an agenda for the appointment. The homeowner has no idea what will happen next. You've got to tell them. Then, and here's an example script, something that is pretty simple. So when you're in that process, and what we're finding is people are so much more forthcoming with their information. I mean, raise your hand if you've ever been to an appointment and it comes time to ask them the questions about their house. I mean, just basic stuff. You have room too hot, room too cold, who has allergies, those kind of things. And it seems like, oh, they're playing their cards really tight to their chest. They're like, and you're like, I'm here to help you. I can't do that without giving me information. Why is there this resistance there? Does that ever happen to anybody? I know it happens to me, or used to years ago. But so this script, and through this virtual process, man, it's perfect, because now people are like, when you say, hey, since I can't be in there in person to look around, would it be all right if I ask you some questions about what you're experiencing and what your concerns are? And the second you ask them that, homeowners will instantly like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. You can't look around. What do you want to know? And they literally will spill their guts to you about everything going on in the house. And then you can, of course, unpeel that onion. Okay, how so? How bad is that? Tell me more about that. And they will. And so that's the cool part about this. And the best part of the quarantine is everybody's home. So you've got both decision makers there most of the time, which is also really cool. So way less one-leggers. So there's an example script that you can use that is really effective to getting them to open up in this process. Unit 4, save big. And this is something, when I was putting this together, it really started to dawn on me that this is much more than just COVID-19. That's just a flash in the pan. This is literally changing the way our industry is going to operate from now on. Save big by improving your efficiency. I'm sure you're reading ahead. We'll get there. Save man hours. If you're not driving all over the planet to meet these sales calls, you can do more. Lower fuel costs. We're not driving. We have lower fuel costs. Minimize vehicle wear and tear. Vehicles last longer. Here's the big one. Are y'all ready for this? dawned on me, make room for more appointments. Can you imagine what your revenue would look like if each consultant, however many you have, was able to see just one extra client a week from saving the time? That'd be 104 additional appointments a year. What would that do to your business? And using this example of the industry average, which is, again, we all know those are low numbers, but that is the industry average, 30% close rate, $5,500 average ticket. When you spread that across a year at 104 appointments, that's $171,000 in increased revenue without you having to change a thing other than just doing this. Just go on video. So be like, hey, cool, can we do it like this way? And again, it's not everybody, just a few to make room for one more appointment a week. Just one a week. Wow. Blew my mind. You know, our company's average close rate is more like 45% across the company, and average ticket is more about like $8,500. So do the math there with 5 people. I mean, it gets big fast. So is this exciting for anybody besides me? It's literally changed my whole headspace has been crazy the last few weeks when I've been putting this together. And it's just, I'm like, and here's my whole philosophy too. Any industry that has done something exactly the same for 50 plus years has to be ripe for a revolution in the way things are done. And I 100% strongly believe that this is a big part of that revolution. It's changing the way that our industry moving forward is going to do these things. So either get used to the change or get used to extinction, because this is where we're going, and you have the chance to start now, start early, and embrace it fast, and watch your numbers skyrocket while the other companies that are not doing this are just going to go down. So I'm passionate about that. All right, Unit 5. This is another big one. Never lose another project because you couldn't get there in time. Imagine this. Okay, now visualize this. We all know what it's like. It's peak season. Your company's at capacity. The calls keep coming in, but your schedule's full. What do? Well, okay, no problem. Mr. Homeowner, give me 5 minutes. I'm going to jump back out to my truck. If you can jump on FaceTime with me, we can just do the appointment right now. Or your technician calls into the office and they're like, hey, the dispatch calls the consultant in the field at one house and say, hey, I know your next appointment is all the way across town. Can you stop and do a virtual appointment in between before you get there? I'll call them and let them know you're going to be bumping a couple minutes late. Go ahead and knock this one out also. How cool is that? Because we all know, how many times do homeowners say, oh, you know what? We really liked you guys. We would have gone with you, but we just couldn't wait. So-and-so could get here earlier, so we went ahead and went with them. How many people are tired of hearing that? I know I am. And so this is a game changer to completely get rid of that as well. Okay, I'm going to take a breather. Jonathan, do you have anything to add at this point?
I'm actually here. We've got a couple questions. I think this would be a good opportunity to answer some of them. So,
okay, I'm going to stop the share real quick then.
Chris has asked, how do you get details on the equipment inside? How do you know what to propose?
Oh, good question. We're going to get there. So put a pin in that question.
Okay. Then we've got, how do you run your load calculation virtually?
Also, we'll answer that here in a minute.
Gotcha. And then Jamie, who asked about the load calculations, also said where he is in Birmingham, Alabama, that 80 or 90% of the systems are all oversized.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it's not just where you're at. That's everywhere, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's the importance of doing a load calculation. So I also see another question over here. You're right. I typoed. Only 52 weeks a year. Yeah, so 2 a week. If you slide 2 in a week, that's 104. If you do 1 a week, half those numbers, but still, to not change anything and get $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 at least extra revenue, just by jumping on a video call every now and then. Lynn, I think that's pretty awesome. Other questions?
We've got one person has raised their hand. Not sure. If you have a question, please feel free to drop it into the Q&A.
Yeah.
We'll be answering them. And again, as Sam is talking, if something he says, you know, before he moves on, if you want to get that answered, please drop it in and I'll cut him off. I know he gets excited, but I'm going to force him to stop and answer this.
Feel free to jump in anytime and just stop me.
All right. So
I learned a long time ago that I can talk about this stuff way longer than most people want to listen. So feel free to cut me off anytime.
And Larry just asked, are you using Zoom more than FaceTime? I know Sam's getting ready to get into that when he talks about which one he prefers. I know the simple answer is going to be whatever the customer is more accustomed to using, but I'm going to let Sam jump into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, let's bump into this next one here, and which coincidentally just happened to be, what do you need to get started? So great questions, everybody. That's where we're headed. So the obvious ones that you have to have: cell phone. Got to have a cell phone. We all have one now. If you're still using the flip phone for your business, time to step into the century. Time to upgrade, because pretty much your business is going to fold just like the phone if you don't embrace this. I'm just going to be honest with you. Be real. I love you all. Step into the century. The one thing that's super, super helpful, in fact, after I go through this slide, I'm going to actually give you a demonstration of a little bit of what a virtual sales appointment looks like. But you can see right behind me, I've got my whiteboard. I'm literally sitting here right in the corner of my home, right in the corner of our room, where I've got my little office space set up. My house is overrun with people, so I don't even have an office. I just have a corner of a room. I literally have sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of projects right here, just like this. And so it's definitely simple to do. So cell phone, whiteboard, tripod, Amazon, 25 bucks. Get yourself a cell phone tripod. That way you can set it up. If you don't want to use the laptop, camera, your computer camera, all you don't even need the computer that much. If you use the phone and your tripod, bam, set that sucker up. It can shoot exactly where you're at. So that way you can use your hands, you can use markers, you can draw. Easy peasy. Now, computer or laptop. Yes, you have to have that to be able to send your proposal to the people. That is something that's really important. Okay, so let's circle back to the questions. Zoom, FaceTime, Messenger. You're exactly right, Jonathan. I prefer Zoom because I know how to navigate it. I can record, I can do all the things. So just like what we're doing right now. In fact, for a lot of you, you've been on Zooms before. Zoom is the new rage anyway. Just about as it's increasing in popularity for everyone to communicate with their loved ones, they're also getting used to using it, which is important. But when you're setting up the appointment, the question, basically the way that appointment works, and I'll kind of talk through that, is you call the homeowner up that's been set up for your appointment. They've got their time blocked out. That's the other thing that's important in setting the frame for the appointment, is whoever sets, if you're the one setting it, if it's office person, if it's a service tech, whoever sets the appointment, still set it up with a time block. Tell them, expect, and whatever your normal appointment is, expect that time. Don't shortcut that for yourself. So when your appointed time arrives, you call the homeowner and say, okay, I'm going to talk you through what we're going to need. If you're willing and able, first thing is we're going to need to do a video chat. Now, what are you familiar with? Are you familiar with the Zoom platform? Or do you normally use FaceTime? Do you normally use Facebook Messenger? What are you comfortable with? And let them answer. Let them tell you what they're comfortable with. Use what they like. I've literally done this with every single type of platform. Also, if somebody's just not going to do a video call, get on the phone with them, talk them through it's the same thing, and just have them text you pictures of what you need. You can literally have them walk around and tell them, okay, I need a picture of this, need a picture of this, need a picture of this, and have them text it to you. And then you can just be on the phone and go through the same process. It's not as effective, but raise your hand if you've sold things over the phone, sold systems, complete projects over the phone before without ever meeting a person or seeing them. I know that there's some of you out there that have done it. So this is not different from that. It's just better. So, but yeah, you're right. The short answer is whatever they're comfortable with, but I prefer Zoom just because I've used it for years and I'm just really comfortable with it. The other thing is optional, but it's a huge time saver, is presentation software. I found one that is just crazy fast to develop. I literally can be sitting here and within 2 minutes from now, I could have 6 options made up in a flash that are just on the screen and ready to go. You expose the pricing and stuff and just share your screen and be able to share it. So if you'd like to know about that, it's a software called FlashQuote. It's my absolute favorite of all the ones that I've seen that I've come across. So shoot me a message or drop a message in the chat box if you'd like to know more about that. I'm happy to get you hooked up there. But it's great. Optional, but not necessary. And it's just good to have a presentation software for your company anyway. But so above there, those are the important things. Those are the things that you have to have. Now, Jonathan, I'm going to bring you back on here real quick. What were those first couple questions? I feel like I might have answered them, but I may have missed a little bit.
Well, we had one just come in just now that I think Paul is right here. You can answer. So, will the customer need a tape measure?
Yeah. So like always, I mean, how many times you go into a house and you're measuring stuff and you hand them the way to do it is like, here, I'm going to hold the dummy end. You measure this part. Help me out here. I need help measuring this window. And you give them the one that's the side they're going to read, right? Get them involved. Get people involved if you possibly can. Now, if it's somebody who's just not able or they're just really resistant, they're not willing, no. But anybody who if you can get them involved in the process, great. Get them involved. Say, hey, if you don't mind, grab a tape measure. I'm going to need you to grab measurements of a couple things. We all know most of the time we can look at something just on a picture of it or while they're showing us with their video that we know the 4 sizes that furnaces come in. And you can tell from looking at it what it is, right? It's not that big a deal, but get them involved. It's really important. And there may be some things that you do need them to measure sometimes, but what we found is setting up this process, homeowner is always, I've never had anyone resistant to doing a little bit of that measurement for you if you ask them to. And it's a lot of fun, actually. It just becomes kind of a cool experience for them as well.
Yeah, Sam, you and I discussed this, and I told you that I just felt like this process is a way to really get the customer engaged to where they can fully see what all goes into it. So if they're having to put in the work and do some of this from home, it's no longer like, well, let me call 4 or 5 people and get quotes, because they're seeing that you're actually taking the time to take all the right measurements and get them to go in their attic. Where are the hot pockets? Where are you having these issues and concerns? Where before, it's like you come in the home, you do what you do, and then they see you at the kitchen table trying to sell them. And they're like, okay, great, but I'm going to get the next quote and the next quote.
Right.
So I feel like all of these extra steps, and because they're having to be a part of it, I just think this could be a way to really, help close the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like always, what we hear now too, is when somebody jumps on as soon as you jump on the camera, I always tell people, okay, all right, before you go in your attic and you get up there hot or into your crawl space, wherever your system is, let's go over some things first, because I want to save you time up there, because there's going to be some things we need to look at. And every single time they tell me, well, a couple other companies have done this with me, but they just wanted me to go straight to the equipment and show it show them what was going on, and then they shot me some numbers. And so they always appreciate the conversation even more when you show that, hey, I want to save your time in the attic, but also I want to know exactly what's going on before you look. Now, this is no different than a well-executed sales process in the home, but now they're getting, it's kind of multiplies it and really puts a magnifying glass on the fact that we are so concerned about what they're experiencing before they're the ones that have to go into the, into the hot places to look at what we need to see.
So Sam, another one of the questions here says, how do you get the details on the equipment inside? How do you know what to propose? And then the other one was, how do you run your load calculation virtually? I don't know if you touched on, I know that you have a checklist. I'm probably sure that some of this is part of that checklist.
Yeah, so good question. So a good sales system really centered around questions, asking the right questions. How you know what to present is based on the questions you ask. So that's up to you. Now, sure, we know some houses, not every system will fit and that kind of thing, but generally speaking, the 80-20 rule, just about anything will go anywhere most of the time. So it has to do with asking the right questions to the homeowner of what their concerns are, what they're interested in, what problems they're wanting to solve in their home, and really diving into that. Now, the detail side, how do we know what's there now? Does it matter? Does it truly matter what's there now if you find out if they've been happy or unhappy with the situation? Because it's not about the details, it's about their experience. People don't care what you know. People want to know, they don't care if it, how it works. They want to know that it works, and they want to know how it's going to make them feel. So if you're doing the right due diligence in your investigation phase, it really doesn't matter what equipment is in a house. Honestly, I don't even look half the time at maybe what size system is currently there, because like you said, I'm going to do a load calculation to find out what we need now. Now, I'm a big fan of CoolCalc. It's an online web-based load calculation software that you can basically draw a map from the top floor. You're going to have to get a little technical. Use the tools we have. If you have an local appraisal district with square footages and things, and then use the software to do this. Also, don't get stuck in the virtual box. Here's the big one. I'm gonna jump out of this for a second. Here's the big one. Just because you're doing a virtual sales appointment doesn't mean you can't drive by their house and look at it. Go over there. Tell them, hey, listen, this is a no contact appointment, but would you mind if I came over and just walked around your property to see your house in person? Then you can get your eyes on the condensing unit or the heat pump or whatever's there. It's not an all or nothing. It is just okay, let's blend everything we've always known into actually using technology that's available now, and we're going to be way more efficient, way more accurate moving forward. So that's cool. Did that help answer the load calculation question? You could go over there, do it. And then, so CoolCalc is just CoolCalc.com. They have, it's kind of like a WriteSoft mobile type of load calculation. It's web-based. You can basically access it from anywhere. And it draws an outline of the house, and it just assumes windows and wall insulation and attic insulation, all these kind of things, based upon bin data from local municipal codes from the era. It knows the year the house was built, so it just pulls all the codes from that, that date. So, yeah, I like them. Or WriteSoft Mobile does the same thing on the app. On the app. You just draw the outline, and it's going to assume all those same things. So is that helpful for everyone?
I think it was.
I see some people interested in Flash Quote there too. Yeah.
So we've got Jay has asked, FaceTime is iPhone. I have an Android and use Duo. What video is across for both Zoom? I
Zoom.
think Zoom is going to be the answer there.
Yeah.
It's super easy to use, Jay.
Yeah, the account's free.
That's
you
right.
don't have to have a paid account even. Just know that the free account, I think it stops at like 45 minutes or an hour. And actually, I'll cover how to handle that here in a minute too.
Perfect. Larry asked, how do you uncover the duct issues as far as gas being needs in the crawler attic?
As far as what?
Duct issues or gas piping needs in the crawl or attic.
Okay, yeah, I've opened it up. I'm looking at it. Okay, yeah, Larry. So duct issues are, depends on how your construction is. We all know every part of the country is a little different when it comes to construction and the style of construction. So here's the thing, if you've been around very long at all, you've worked on similar houses in the similar neighborhood. So you have an idea of common issues. And if you haven't, ask somebody. Surely somebody in your company has. So you have an idea of common problems with a certain construction. So you're going to have to use a little bit of deductive reasoning based on, again, asking the homeowners what's going on. Because at the end of the day, this is sales. People buy what they want, not what they need. If you uncover this crazy, glaring, obvious ductwork problem in the attic, the design was horrible. They used a bunch of cheese boxes or triangles or something that you should never use in an attic, right? But in the investigation phase, the homeowner says, every room in the house is fine. There's no temperature differences. Or maybe it's noticeable, but it's nothing I'm concerned about. Is it something you're going to sell them or try to sell them? No, it's not a big deal, right? So sell people what they want, not what they need. That's what they're going to buy. Now, at the same time, if you're priced appropriately and something looks really fishy through this investigation, then you should have don't discount as much. Save yourself a little buffer space to know that, okay, when we get over there, we might need to make a couple adjustments. Exactly. Yeah. The disclaimer says for sure, 100%, when you sell, especially if you sell a project that you have some mystery around, okay, maybe this or this needs changed, lock the deal in, sell the project, and just set the right expectations. Say, okay, I've got a couple questions about what I'm seeing on this, because I'm not going to ask you to crawl to the far reaches of your attic as a homeowner. We need to set just a super quick appointment for me to come and inspect it in person. The point of this virtual visit is so you don't have a whole bunch of salespeople from all over town, or consultants or project managers, whatever you want to call us, streaming in from all over the town to mitigate exposure. It's more convenient, it's more efficient for both you and me. Once you've decided on using us as a project, and I know you will, of course, I do need to come do a site visit and walk through just to confirm what we found. That's easy out of the mystery stuff. And that way, and just with the caveat being, if I see anything different, they're paying for expertise, yeah, and experience, yep. But yeah, so at the same time, yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's part of it. So yeah, just set the expectation that, come do a walkthrough and make sure everything matches what you saw.
So I think this kind of falls in line with someone asks, do you let the customer know that you may find some existing conditions during the installation that will address at the time of the install? So,
right.
Just
yeah. Well, no. So I mean, it's never you're going to charge them more if you find something that you didn't expect. That's the reason of saying, okay, before we lock this in, just want to make sure we do a site visit, and that way we can be 100% sure of everything, and then we'll lock it in right then. And I'm seeing this comment here, Cassie. Yeah, no, 100% agree. 100% agree. We're not selling something that they need if it's truly an issue. And you do have to do the due diligence and prove what they need. Absolutely. Definitely not saying that. What I am saying though is don't get bogged down wasting time on things that aren't a huge concern of theirs if it's good enough, right? So there's that balance.
And then people are asking about the load calculation software. So maybe you can drop that in the chat. Just drop that link for them.
Yeah.
Is that the flash quote?
No, so flash quote actually does some a little bit of calculation. Depends on your area. It'll help you out with that. Cool Calc is actually a super quick manual J or ACA approved manual J. And it'll even do a manual D if you, an ACA approved manual D if you enter all the data right.
Will you, somebody else, a couple people asked about the flash quote. So that if you would touch on it again and then possibly drop the info.
Yeah, I can do a, give me a half second. I can do a super quick demo if you want to see it. It's pretty awesome. This would just be a, like, literally 100,000 foot view. But yeah, there's a link to it. Thanks, John. Flashquote.biz, flashquotehvac.biz. Yeah, that actually, we don't really have time for that right now. So just go there, flashquote.biz, and no, flashquotehvac.com, that's it. Yeah, so just go there, check it out. They'll get you hooked up. That's what I use, and it's great. So
awesome. All right.
Yeah.
I think we've got everyone's questions answered now. Did you have a second to, because I know you got your whiteboard behind you, to give any kind of visual of what that role play would kind of look like, or some typical questions like you may get while you're on an actual screen share with one of your customers?
Yeah. So say, for example, you know, your camera's on and we're having a conversation about a system or about a good example from the very last one I just did. So I would do this. I'd be like, okay, cool. So what we were just now talking about was you've got bedroom, hallway, and roof like this going on. Can y'all see that okay?
Yep.
Maybe I need to use a darker color. So got this going on with your house, and he's telling me, man, I've got these 2 bedrooms that are just always hot, always cold. And so I was like, okay, cool. Well, so your system's up here in the attic, you've got a unit outside, and they're connected with your copper lines. And so here's the thing, guys. You don't have to be a good artist. I literally draw like this all the time and sell millions of dollars of projects. Sam, a drummer. No, I'm not a drummer. I'm a guitar player, actually. It's a band from, imagine this, a band from Houston from like mid-90s. I got signed one time. Yeah, so you don't have to be a good artist. You literally can just draw like this and sketch it out so you can see, because, so kind of sales conversation here. Communicate in the way that people understand. Try to hit different things. So if you walk into a house and you see lots of art on the walls, things like that, communicate by using words like, have you seen this? Have you ever seen the different models available? If you walk in and there's concert, like instruments and concert pictures all over the wall and CDs or records or something, use terms like, have you ever heard about? Because you're starting to subconsciously connect in a way that connects with them and that's what builds instant rapport without having to talk about the weather forever. That's how to be efficient. So, total side, I get excited about this stuff, I was telling you. So yeah, the conversation was just like this. He was like, oh my gosh, this bedroom's always hot. I was like, okay, well, great. So who lives in there? Oh, my teenage son. What's he got in there? Has he got a computer in there? Has he got TVs in there? Yeah, okay. Does he always keep the door closed? Yeah, okay, well, great. Well, can you see how that with the door closed, we're not able to get the air out of the bedroom? Right. Okay, so can you see how by, we're just going to pop in a little return over here into that bedroom. That way the air can blow in and also circulate back out and allow a lot more circulation into that room. Can you see how that's going to solve that problem? oh my gosh, yeah, nobody's ever explained it like that. And it's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be complicated. And that's the beauty of this, because people understand. And if you don't have a whiteboard, literally flip your phone around with a piece of paper and do the same thing and draw it out while you're talking to them. It doesn't have to be a whiteboard on a wall. I just like it because I talk with my hands a lot. Is that helpful?
Yes, very.
So I do this all the time. I'll do this and then, okay, next part of the conversation, erase it and go into drawing something else. You use different colors so they can see good visuals. You know, that's why you have a tripod set up with your cell phone, like right here, so you can just talk to the cell phone.
And then the last part of that, do you want to maybe tell them what your presentation, as far as, this is how you're going through the proposal, or how you're going through the estimate and walking them through that process, but what do you do as far as when you're trying to close the deal and sell them?
Yeah, that's great. So what we're finding too is, so while the name of my company is Close It Now, that is definitely, yes, there's ways to close in-house or ways to close, right then. But our society is changing. Using this tool is a great example of that. I'm all about functioning from a very abundance mindset that they're going to see how great we are no matter what. They're going to buy from us no matter what, if it's now, if it's a week later. Get rid of the idea that if you don't close it during your visit that you're not going to get the job. That is an old school way of thinking in our industry. Yes, I teach a massive amount of closing techniques and how to overcome objections and all of that kind of stuff, of course. However, people's timelines are different. I literally had a guy email me this week from 2 years ago that he was like, okay, we're ready to do something, because, a lot of the times the projects that you don't sell, they literally just don't do anything. They just weren't ready for a project. So it's okay. Function from this mindset of, hey, there's plenty in the world. Let's just talk to them all. And so, I don't even remember what your question was about that, but it's important. Yeah. So the presentation. So I present the different, we're talking about the problems in the house. Did you see how I talked about it in the way of the son's temperatures in their bedroom and it's gonna fix it? Can you see how this is the problem? Can you see how this is the solution? So now he has a comfortable bedroom at night and he's not telling you about how hot it is. That's the conversation. That's all you need to have in the conversation of fixing a solution. So now you've got a great add-on to your project of, hey, we're offering this. So takes it away from just selling boxes. Okay, you picked a two-stage model, into here's the project. Here's our offer for our project, which is we're going to fix your son's bedroom temperatures. You're going to sleep more comfortable at night. And so the conversation changes. And then when you're having that conversation, then when it comes time to actually present, like I do, you can just pop it up on the screen with a screen share and narrow it down, and then instantly email whatever you decide on. So that's cool. Or let's handle the whole time limit on Zoom issue. What a lot of our team does, because not everybody on our team has a paid account, so it cuts off at 45 minutes. So you do the first part of the visit, you have them walk around, you go through this process. So, okay, Jonathan, no problem. It's going to take me a few minutes to put this together. So we're going to hop off the video chat. I'm going to put everything together. I'm going to email it over to you. And as soon as I do, we can hop back on the video call, and then we can answer all your questions and walk through it while you're looking at it and I'm looking at it at the same time. So that's another way to handle the presentation of actual pricing and what you're presenting. Yeah.
Right. So,
and because you cut it off before the 45-minute mark and the restart one, you've got a whole nother 45 minutes.
Right, exactly. And so you're saying you do prefer, even if you didn't have the free version, you got the paid version, you could be on it for 5 hours if you wanted to. You would still prefer to jump off to put the proposal together, to email, and then jump back on to go over that with you step by
You know, a lot of times, not always. It depends on the as we all know, it depends on the complexity of the project and what you're putting together. You know, if you're putting together a 3-ton upflow gas furnace AC system combination with no extras, or maybe, you know, a air purifier and if you're not selling indoor air quality right now, shame on you. It just means you're not offering it. But and we can even cover a couple questions to help you do that. But yeah, I mean, if it's something simple like that, boom, 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 do it right then and share screen. If you've got some digital presentation software, that is a great way to do it. However, if it's more complex and there's a lot going on, then yeah, take that break. Say, because they're like, listen, this could take me a few minutes to do the load calculation, to put it all together. I don't believe in guesswork, so I want to make sure to be accurate in this. So if you'll give me a few minutes, we'll hop back on, or when can we reschedule? It's just like resetting an appointment to present. You know, oh, your partner's not there. You know, when is a good time? When will y'all both be together? I can come back and present. It's the same thing. So it's not different. And that's the big hurdle that we have to kind of get over. Mentally, it feels different, but it's really not. It's the same philosophy and the same principles we've always used. We're just doing it with some cool new tools now.
Awesome. All right, so we've got a couple of questions. We'll rapid fire these, and then I'll show them some of the advertising ad samples of what's been working for you guys, and then we'll get this wrapped up. So
yeah, get to the next section. Sure.
They say, do you say fix or improve?
Fix or improve? You know, honestly, I think it doesn't matter at this point, because it depends on what's going on. Example like this would be improve. We're going to dramatically improve the temperature in your son's bedroom. If it's something that's broken, we'll fix it. So you've got to, that's where salesmanship comes in. That's where the philosophy comes in. Learning what words truly mean, and then using them appropriately. So situation like this, improve. You've got a broken drain line, fix.
Awesome. All right, next question. How many options do you offer the customer?
Great question. We offer 4. We offer 4 options. We leave off. So basically the concept is, through massive amount of study to the psychology of the way people buy things. If someone has 3 options, good, better, best, 30% by the low, 30% by the middle, 30% by the top. If you introduce a 4th option, boom, which actually the 4th option should be introduced high middle. So that instantly just in people's minds splits to 10% of people will buy the cheapest thing, 40% buy low mid, 40% buy mid high, 40% by your top option. That is without outside influence from you as an excellent educator and excellent to persuade towards better options. But that's just statistically how people buy things with 4 options. So we love 4 options: single stage, 2-stage, and then 2 top end, you know, variable speed modulating communicating equipment options. Boom. Doesn't matter what brand you're in, you've all got them. Make those your top ones. So, and then we always leave off any builder grade equipment and only offer those at the end of the day if there's literally nothing here that the homeowner will choose. It doesn't fit their budget, legitimately doesn't fit their budget. So, okay, we've got a couple other options, and then roll those in. So that's the way I train to present, because it's really effective that way.
Awesome. And last question, because I don't want to miss anyone, says, do you send info on your company when emailing the quote?
Yes, actually, it's a great question. Doing all this, so for the last several years, what I've done is I literally will when I can't present in person or I'm emailing, or I actually just pre-recorded my system presentation, and it's a YouTube link. So in our emails, we're sending you just YouTube free account, record a video of yourself giving a presentation, record a customized video for your client. Just even if just it's a recap of what y'all talked about, record it as a video. dump it onto your YouTube channel, put it unlisted. It's free, it's easy to do, and then send them that link. And so then they click on it and you're like, oh, Mr. Bannister, it was so great meeting with you the other day. I just wanted to recap what we were talking about. We had this going on in your house, this going on, this going on. Here's the solutions that we had talked about. I've outlined them on your quote like this. Boom, 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 boom. You have the option of this or that. Our next communication, I'll need you to answer this question, this question. And so interjecting those videos right in the middle of your email presentation is completely a game changer for the way because nobody's doing this. Literally nobody's doing this. So it'll change everything in the way your homeowner receives your information.
Awesome. All right. Last question, and just want to let everybody know we'll be wrapping this up in a few minutes. I do want to share some of the advertising ads just so y'all can get an idea to pass on to your marketing team. And then once we wrap this up, Sam and I do have some special offers that we've put together for anybody that does want to stick around, but we will make a break point to where if you do want to jump off. So one quick question, how do you do financing?
Financing is awesome. Love financing. We've got like 4 different places people can finance. I get fired up when I think about financing. 0% is huge right now. At the end of the day, though, again, it comes down to asking the right questions. Jonathan, looks like you're most interested in this project, this system here, this package. So let me ask you, we offer a cash discount. If you do, we could take cash or check. We could take credit card, or we have financing. What works best for you? And let them answer. And then once they do, say, okay, great. We have several different financing options. What are you most interested in? It's low payment or low interest? Let them answer. Great. And so, you just walk through it that way, because we're holding their hand all the way through that hallway, which is the hallway where the sale is at the end. All these objection doors along the way, we're closing along the way. So that's how you handle that. And then as far as actually what we offer, our higher end equipment, we offer longer 0% up to like 5 years, 6 years. We have an option for, you can go up to 144 months at like 8.9%, which is cool because it's zero cost to the homeowner or zero cost to the contractor. The presentation software instantly calculates if you use a good software that does that. I know FlashQuote does, so I know a lot of the others do as well. And so you can instantly change it right on the spot to show them, okay, here's what it would look like this, here's what it would look like that. But you have to offer financing. If you're not offering financing, you've got to get with somebody to start offering financing immediately. You're literally losing 50% of projects that you go to if you don't offer financing right now. I can guarantee you that.
And let's see, Becky asked if they missed the meeting, can you get a link? Yes, we will be emailing. It'll probably be first thing in the morning, but everyone that participated today will get an email with the replay link inside of it.
Yeah. All right. You want to show some of the cool stuff?
You are welcome, Becky.
Let's get out of that. There we go. And a second here. All right.
Perfect.
All right. So, Cornerstone, here you go. Take it away.
Thank you. So, gonna make this short and quick, but some questions here. How do you get the message out during the COVID-19 crisis? We've covered this in a couple of different webinars, what our message should look like, and it's really been, we're here, we're open, and we're taking all the steps that we need to keep you and your family and our employees safe during this time. That should be the message. Now, when it comes to what we're talking about today is how do we get that message out there? And really this should be, piggyback in a couple of different ways. And when I say piggyback, I mean, there should be some thought behind a retargeting campaign which says, hey, we're doing the no contact free consultations. We're doing the no contact free estimates. And then behind that, when they click on that to get some information or, be able to call you or fill out a form fill to have someone come out or call them and be able to do this no contact call, the next ads that they should start seeing should be your finance offers. So if you have a 0% interest for 18 months or no payments for 6 months, those should then be the targeted ads that they start seeing after they've clicked on this ad that we'll see here in a second. So is it too late to get started with this marketing? Absolutely not. I've seen some messages come out today. Obviously we saw everybody jump on here. We've got people on this call from West Coast to East Coast. I saw somebody from Canada as well. So I will tell you that different states, there's a couple that announced today that the lockdown is going to be at least through May 15th. So we're looking, certain places, it's going to be a month, if not longer. So is it too late? Absolutely not. What kind of results can we expect? Well, Sam, did you kind of cover what you did in March?
I hadn't. I forgot about that.
Okay.
So I didn't even cover that. Yeah. So our company, by rolling in this philosophy and we've been promoting no contact appointments for a little while to get the phone to ring because it's the shoulder months. It's the typical slow time of the year for most companies. We just had the biggest March we've ever had as an organization. So it's awesome. It's been fantastic when people are saying, we called you because of this. Thank you for doing this for us.
Awesome. And do you have any examples? Sam, we have some.
We do.
All right. So here's just a couple, examples that we need to be, getting that message around. We've got some clients that are doing the contact-free service calls. Again, a lot of that information and a lot of the details that they're getting is taking place over the phone. They've had to change their message with their CSR and their call centers and getting a lot more information than they typically would, but making it a no contact service call, and then obviously our no contact free estimates and free consultation. So that should be the ads. I think it's going to really, especially if you had a couple bullets listed out into your Facebook, Instagram ad, talking about what is going to take place. What does this no contact call look like? And then again, they click on that ad. The things that they should be seeing on the retargeting should be about your finance offer. So if anyone has any questions about this, please reach out to our team or Sam, but these are the same exact style ads that Sam and his company has been running. And again, they just had their most successful March of the history of the company.
Right.
So is this our wrap up and then we're going to do the offer?
Yeah.
Okay. So, at this time, we want to be respectful of everyone's time. I know we've gone over about 10 minutes from our actual start time. So this is going to conclude the webinar today. We are getting ready to roll out a couple offers that we've put together. These are joint package offers for Sam services on the virtual training. So he does sales training. He does it over Zoom. And then this will also be some Facebook, Instagram ads or PPC offers with Cornerstone. We're going to be working together to roll this out for anybody that's on this call today. So Sam, I'm going to let you take it while you're getting that set up.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah. So just super quick, in the comments box, have you gotten value from today's, for what we've covered today? I would just love to see if this has been a value to you. Did you learn something today? Maybe drop your biggest takeaway so far into the comments.
All right, Brad said he got a lot out of this today. We appreciate that, Brad. Q&A, we had Mary Ellen. She had asked if they say they want to pay by check, and then 2 weeks later they say, no, I want to finance. What happens? Are you putting a percentage financing in every job?
Oh yeah. So in order to appropriately, so this is just kind of basic pricing for your company. In order to appropriately be priced, and the way the laws read with financing laws, be very, very, very conscious of this. Price your projects as if your financing fee is already rolled in. Price your projects already there. And then because here's the thing, the way the law reads, once you've settled on a price, if they say they want to finance, you can never add money to cover financing or a credit card fee. It's illegal. However, if you're priced appropriately and you already have those built in, you can offer credit card discount, cash discount. Knowing if it's written like that in from the very beginning, that if she decides, and that'll get her to make a decision too, because if you've got, here's our price, monthly payment of this, yeah, exactly, boom. But then she says, hey, if I pay by check, is there a discount? You're like, sure, it would be $500 off. She knows that if she goes back, she loses that discount. And if it's written into the contract that way, cash discount of boom, and circles back, it goes back up. And it's okay to do that.
Awesome. And then that's the last question. Got some great feedback here. A lot of value. Absolutely great info. We appreciate that feedback.
Awesome.
And yeah, let's roll into
let's do it. All right. So let's do this. So I know that. Let me ask you a question. Is it like listen to fire hose in the face? Oh no, that's not what we want to do. Stop it. Done. Present. Boom. There we go. Fire hose in the face of the information. I just love this picture. My 6-year-old daughter helped me pick this picture, by the way. But so we put together a package for you guys of basically what we can offer. I got together with Jonathan and said, we really want to give back during this time period. So we've got 3 different packages for you. Just going to buzz through them here really quick. So we know that doing this kind of thing, it's not a one-time and now you're an expert. Sales training, there's techniques, tips, you're developing new habits. With this type of marketing, it's not hey, we do it once and instantly we have traction. People's average number of exposures, they have to see things over and over and over for it to stick. So that's why we put together a 3-month package, because that's how long it takes to create habits. We want you to be successful in the future. So what you get with package number 1 is the first line here, 3 months private one-on-one coaching. That's for your company. We will set up a time if it's just you, if it's you and your sales team, however many people, we will dive in and custom build your sales system, custom build this conversation with the client, with the homeowner, for you exclusively based on your company and your content, what you offer. It's really powerful. Typically, that's $1,000 a month. I usually charge $1,000 a month per person for that. So right now, so it's $3,000 value basically. Also, complete virtual HVAC sales mastery system. I bundled together kind of everything we talked about and just put it into a quick little pack that is super powerful. Get you off and running really quickly to start making those virtual HVAC sales, save the efficiency, all of that. Accountability tracking, that's a big part of this. Is it doesn't matter how high you jump, it's how straight you walk when you land. So accountability tracking, we've got tracking forums, and then we set up basically weekly accountability to make sure everybody's doing the new things. If we fall into old habits, just because it gets busy or we get some resistance, we'll never see growth or change. And in this package, Facebook and Instagram ad creation and management, retargeting marketing campaigns, like Jonathan's been talking about, pay-per-click campaigns with landing page creation, ad setup, management, tracking numbers, and full reporting. This is huge. Now, of course, buying the ads is separate, but all of this is put together. That over the 3 months is basically $4,500, $44.99 value. So the total value of that sold separately on any other given day would be $8,954. Super quick testimony, one of my clients. This is Mark. He's been a private coaching client for a while. Owned my company for almost 3 years and never sold a project that was above a single stage 16 SEER system. After only one private coaching session with Sam Wakefield, closed my very first top-end, fully communicating variable speed system for 19,713. This is now a regular occurrence. I talk to him all the time. All the time he's popping me texts, hey dude, another 20K. Before starting with Close It Now, his average sale was 5369. His average sale for the year so far is 8,600. And you can read the rest. Holy, what a difference. Keep doing what you're doing. So that's Mark. He's a good dude. And if you're in the Chicago area, look him up on the Mark Heating and Air. So a question for you. If all this did was boost your exposure and lead generation to share your message by just 20%, would this package be worth it? 20% better exposure and lead generation, that's pretty awesome. If all it did was increase your company revenue by just 30%, example is if you're a $500,000 a year company, you become $650,000 a year. Would that $150,000 increase be worth this investment? Become more efficient by even one appointment a week. And again, I type out those numbers. It should be a year. I mean, by not really changing anything, would it be worth it? I hope you would answer with me. The answer to all three of those is yes, yes, and yes. So another super quick testimony. This is Jordan. He's actually on my team. He has 0 sales experience. His close rate for the first 2 months of going in sales was awful. It's 18 and 23%. We started really mentoring with the program. His sales has turned a complete 180. His closing rate now never dips below 40%. His 5th full month running leads by himself, he closed $120,000 in projects with an average sale of $92.71. And currently, halfway through April, he literally wrote this for me yesterday. So these are current numbers, 60% close rate for April, over 60K in sales, which of course, considering what's going on with the global pandemic, that's pretty rock star numbers in our market right now. So what's changed is the psychological concepts of clients that Sam's brought to my attention. And now with clients, he's aware of what's going on another level, reading between the lines of what the customers are saying and find a deeper understanding what the customer is looking for. And he's like, I thought selling like this was going to be difficult to learn. In fact, he's having way more fun with it now because he's gained confidence from a direct education and one-on-one training. So that's one of my clients as well, one of my students. So you can see why it's a good deal at $9,000. General public, $59.97. But because Jonathan and I partnered for you guys to give back during this time of crisis, we have bundled that package together for just $29.97 to cover that full 3 months, everything in that package. So one-on-one coaching for your whole company, the sales HVAC virtual sales mastery system, all of the amazing stuff that Jonathan has put together for the online marketing and total COVID-19 content creation, all of that, landing pages put together for you guys. Does that sound like a good deal to you?
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, that one is going to be the private coaching is the big difference here. So that is going to be Sam one-on-one with you and whoever from your company you want to be involved in that training. And then the other package or packages that we're about to show you will be a cheaper price point. But basically what it's going to be is everyone that's on this call today that wants to take advantage of the next package, it will be group coaching, and group coaching may be what you want. There may be some guys in here, gals in here that would prefer to be able to bounce off ideas from, just getting started in the industry 6 months. We saw a couple other ones that haven't been in long. So you may feel that you get more value in being in a group setting. So.
Yep. Yeah, totally. There's no right or wrong answer here. The answer is taking action just because we know the best way to move forward quickly is having somebody hold you accountable and to make sure that you're doing the steps you need to do to move forward. Otherwise, these are things that are easy to do, but they're easy to not do. And we want to see your businesses grow. That's why we've slashed our pricing to be able to just basically serve more people really the best. So package 2, like Jonathan was just saying, group coaching it's just Zoom call. It's not the webinar style. It's a Zoom call, so we can all interact. We can have conversation. You get perspective from all over the country. Complete virtual, still get the virtual sales mastery system, still get the full accountability, and the little bit more limited on the digital side of things. Still going to do Facebook and Instagram ad creation and management.
Just won't have the PPC there.
Won't have the pay-per-click stuff, which is okay. It depends on where you are and where you're getting started. What is your budget like? This is a really fantastic way to get rolling into that. So here's the full breakout of all 3 packages we put together. Package 1, again, is the private coaching, all the Instagram and Facebook content creation, management, ad setup, landing pages, full market reporting for 3 months. Package 2, still 3 months. That's group coaching for everyone on your team, virtual sales mastery system, then Facebook and Instagram ad creation and management. Package 3 is the same as number 2 for if you want to try for just a month. Say, hey, let's just get going for a month and see what it's like, see if we get the value from it. And so real quick, how do you take action? Comment what package number you think you want. And if you don't know, just put a question mark and put your email in the chat box. And then we'll reach out to you and we can connect that way. We're recording all those. So we'll be able to connect and get you set up, get rolling. We are prepared to start immediately with you though. So all of this is already set up so you can get launched right away, actually seeing some numbers change immediately. So that's the important part. So again, number 1 is $29.97 for the 3 months. Package 2 is $14.97 for the 3 months. Package 3 is $4.97 for the 3 months.
They can't see package 3. Somebody asked the price.
Oh, gotcha. Oops. Yeah, so package 3 is $4.97. Bottom of the screen. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, let's do this. Can you see it now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so package 3, it's the same as package 2 for just a month. But the main thing, guys, is get rolling. Get progress. Progress is important. Let me ask you this. If you were able to increase, and we've priced it such that it's silly, because if you made one awesome extra sell every month for 3 months, would that cover $3,000 investment? I think the answer is a pretty clear yes. Surely you would do more than one. So
we had one question from Anthony. Said, do you charge for the no contact estimates? And what is your close rate for the no contact estimates compared to your regular in-house?
Yeah, no, so we don't charge for that. We don't charge for any estimates. That's not something that I've ever been a fan of. So just generally speaking, we don't charge for estimates. Then as far as the close rate goes, we're actually seeing higher numbers because of that interaction. Everybody on our team's numbers have bumped at least 5 to 10% since they started rolling these into their basically the practice. And just even if it's just a handful of virtual appointments here and there, they're closing, just it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that some of the numbers that Sam told me over this past month, y'all's close rate numbers, and on your team, it was almost in line with the tech set leads. So, to see that just because you are bringing the customer into this presentation with you, and they physically have to be a part of it, the close rate numbers seem to be that of if the technician actually flipped that lead to you. It was mind-boggling to hear some of those numbers. So
yeah, it's cool. It's so much fun. I have another guy I actually did this same training with. He's in my Facebook group with Close It Now for the HVAC sales coaching. He's a $4 million salesman over in Louisville, Kentucky, and his close rate is like 68%. And he's doing probably 90% virtual right now. And so that's what we're seeing. It's just like that all the time. We are so confident that you're going to see insane results, which is awesome. That, of course, we do have risk-free money-back guarantee. If you don't feel like you're getting the value out of this, we don't want your money. We want you to see like crazy go nuts growth. And we want you to see very marked improvement in your numbers, in your sales numbers, in your leads, in every bit of this put together, in the company culture, all of that, that we take the risk so you don't have to. If during the time period of the 3 months that you've committed to, at any point, we'd say give it at least 6 weeks, because these are habits. We've got to develop new habits, but we do have a money back guarantee. And so that's something that we're very, very proud to offer. So you either get better numbers or you get your money back and you're right where you started. And, so it's really not a loss.
That's great. And we can, questions have been coming in. We've been answering them. I will just say, anyone who's still on the call, we will be following this up with the replay link, but also a breakdown of these packages. And then you'll be able to just email or shoot us a text or give us a call, and we will get everything set up. We're planning on starting the group early next week. So anybody who's on this call, it will be a new group for anyone who wants to take part. And then obviously, same thing next week will be the private coaching. We'll be setting up with Sam, and we'll get that on y'all's calendar.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, you can, we could keep doing what we're doing and keep getting the same results, but man, I'll tell you, you've got to adopt this. It's changed everything for us. And like I started out the call, totally see this as it's not just something that's going on while people are social distancing. This is going to be the way heating and air is done moving forward in the future. So working with John, this is a cool partnership too, especially with these packages, because his side of it is like, let's get leads in the door. Let's get leads pouring in. Let's get the phone ringing, get the messages coming in. And then my side of it is, now that they're coming in, let's sell this stuff. There's no point in getting more leads if you don't know what to do with them, or your numbers need clear improvement. So let's work together to, just knock the roof off of that bottom line and make you crazy profitable this year.
Awesome. Well, Sam, I want to thank you again for doing this webinar. I'm so thankful that I was on somebody else's recently. Saw you last couple of weeks. We've had some great conversations. Like the fact, that I'm right up the road from you. As soon as this crisis is over, we've already talked about we're going to get together. We're going to work on some projects together to bring, again, like you said, tons of value for our clients, our vendor partners. And we're excited because we know everyone is going through this together, and we want to be able to help them any way we possibly can. So, man, I just cannot thank you enough. Tons of value. I know I'm going to be getting the emails and text messages after this. You're doing amazing things. I really appreciate it. So I just thank you and take care. I'll be in touch with you soon.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And everyone else, I'll close this like I normally close. Well, yeah, and make sure to go check out the Close It Now podcast, closeitnow.net. Lots of free information for you there. But we'll close this the way I normally close those. Go save the world one heat stroke at a time.
Nice. Take care, my friend.